All right, here with Summers County Coach Josh Evans. Josh, first of all, you got a couple really good skill position guys coming back. One of those is Drake Cole. I think a couple of years he really, I don't remember which game it was, but there was a game down here. He really came on. It was when you had three backs. All of them could probably rush for 1,000 that year, but he's really come on the last 2 years and become quite a player for you.
Yeah, he came on the scene about week 5 of his sophomore year. I think he rushed for about 270 against Richwood, which was week 7 that year. And, last year he was very consistent. I think he had 5 or 6 games over 200 yards, which led him to, upwards of 1,300 yards on the season. Kid, he's a workhorse, and he does what you ask you to, and he gives you everything he's got.
What makes him so good?
He's a team player. He's 100% in. He just wants to win, and he doesn't quit. I mean, he's gotten so much bigger and stronger over the winter. It's blown my mind. He played last year at about 170 pounds. He's 193 pounds coming into camp, and he hadn't lost a step. So we're pleased with that. He's grown into himself. Is what it is.
Seems to me there was a story why he played week 5. He didn't play much or didn't have a lot of success until then. You remember what that was? Why you played in week 5 there?
Absolutely. He was playing for us. He started for us at Split In the first 5 games of the season, and we had some issues, and we ended up moving him back to running back. So it was his time to shine, and he answered the call with it, and he hadn't looked back since.
Did you know he could be a running back like that, or was that one of those just happenstance things?
No, I mean we knew that he'd played that in youth league and growing up in the middle school. We knew he'd played there, but we had a bunch of backs at the time, and it just didn't. When his number was called, it was he did what he was supposed to do. So. And it's been a lot of fun with him ever since.
What are your expectations for him this season?
Well, I mean, as long as he can stay healthy, as long as we can stay healthy up front, we expect him to top what he did last year, and just consistently do what he does every week.
Now, I think your quarterback Brandon Isaac is the guy who finally got Josh Evans into the air game. Is that a fair assessment of this kid's his ability?
Well, absolutely. This is the first camp that we've had him full speed. I mean, year 1 he had a battle with some Lyme's disease and some stuff like that going on during camp, so he wasn't fully healthy as a sophomore. Last year we didn't have him for the first 5 games of the season, and he came on. I think he ended up throwing for close to 600 the last 5 games of the season. And the kid's just very smart, and he's got some really good wide receivers to throw it to. Yeah, absolutely. You got to get the ball in your playmaker's hands, and he's one of them. So let's let him turn around and spin it.
Is really the thing for him just staying healthy? Because I think he did have some nice passing games last year when you weren't really a passing team.
Absolutely, the key for him. It's key for all of them to stay healthy. There's 24 of them here. If you don't play for us, it's because you don't want to. We got a great group of kids, and I couldn't ask for a better group than what we have right now. And
well, if you're going to put in an offense where you're throwing the ball, you got to keep him healthy, right?
Well, it's been put in. It's just not. We just haven't been able to execute it. It's been there for 2 years.
So if you're going to execute it, you need to keep him in upright position too. Are you in a position to do that? I mean, to throw the ball, you got to have a couple seconds to get it off.
Well, we only lost one offensive lineman from last year. So them guys, I think they ended up rushing for about 3,300 on the season. He threw for close to 6. So, yeah, I think, those guys are back and, they're ready to work. So.
The word that I've heard here is it might be the best line you've had in a while. Just simply
the best line that I've experienced here, yes, sir.
What are the things that make Brandon Isaacs, makes a guy like yourself who is very old school in the run, and mentality is to run first? I know the programs you played in. Now, I think at Marshall you probably experienced a little bit more of the passing game and being a passing offensive lineman. But what are the intangibles that?
You got to be smart. You got to be able to read defenses. He's proven that he can do that. You got to have people to throw it to. I mean, outside the protection, you got to have people you can throw it to. Our number 1 wide receiver last year played quarterback for the first 5 games, so it made it. Ryan couldn't throw it to himself. And, with us being a run-based team, we hadn't developed any of them. As the season went on, we were able to develop them, and these kids have gotten stronger throughout the year, and they like what we're doing. You got to be able to.
Well, that's true. Ryan Oliveros did play quarterback the first 5 games when Isaacs was out. Having him over at wide receivers for a whole season, what do you think he can do?
I think he'd probably be one of the best wide receivers in the state, not in any class, but this kid can play. And don't take away what he does from the defensive side of the ball either. I mean, he's one of the better corners that I've ever seen play the game at this level. You know, last year at Clay County, he showed what he could do down there, you know, against the kid that they have. You know, his on-ball skills are amazing. He just understands the game, and that's what's great about Ryan.
Two, you got Tyson Atkins. I mean, this kid was an all-stater as a freshman. You must have some big expectations for him.
Well, you got Tyson, you know, coming back as a middle linebacker and fullback. I think he was rushed for close to 600 or 700 yards last year, and we expect turnaround and hand it off to him quite a bit too. Which, with the passing game and Drake in the run game, you don't know who's going to get it, and we've been lucky to be able to do that for the past few years. We're just doing some difference. Tyson's going to do what Tyson does. He's a football player, and he makes his money on the defensive side, but we'll see him on the offense too.
This is your third year here?
Yes, sir.
This is the most confident you've been at this point, fall camp coming in?
Yeah, I mean, last year we had a lot of confidence going into it. You know, this was before B got hurt. And then, you know, we still strung together an even record. We went 5-5, and you know, there was 3 games in there that we lost by a combined of 18 points. So, you know, if ball bounces our way one way or another, you're looking at an 8-2 season as opposed to 5-5. And there's, you know, these kids are competitive every week. I think Coach Mustang even said it when he shook my hand after the James Monroe game. We played them really tough. You know, they were at the time where they were definitely a better football team than us, but we played them really tough, and that was hats off to them. But you know, our kids have really stepped up, and they know what to expect when it comes to just hard-nosed single-A football. And you know, it's going to go from there. It goes if they're tough, then we're going to win a lot of games.
All right, Josh, I appreciate the time, man.
Yep.